Hello, everyone. I am Fabiana Clore, pianist and business strategist for musicians. So excited to be with you today to talk about systems. How do we create systems as musician entrepreneurs in this online space? This is one of my absolute favorite topics that I love discussing in the work that I do, coaching musicians all around the world. Because if there's one thing that I've learned throughout these last over a decade that I've been as an entrepreneur, building businesses, creating systems, teaching others to do this, is how important it is for us to create businesses that align with our life, with our goals, with our dreams, and not the other way around. It's so common. I see this all the time. Musicians build businesses that end up taking off all of their energy, that depend on them for every single aspect of what they need to do. And they end up becoming very overwhelmed, burned out, and feeling like they just built this huge monster in a way that is sucking out all the life out of them. So, my topic, what I love discussing, is building systems so that you don't have to do all the things yourself, so that you can scale your business, so that you can expand the work you do as a musician, but also in the world of business. So, today we're going to talk about some of my favorite strategies to help create systems so that you can start enjoying your life and start winning back your time and feeling that you're actually building a business that is in alignment with your values, that is in alignment with the life you set out to create, right? So, the first thing is when I started my first venture, my music academy, Superior Academy of Music, back in 2011, at that point, I built a school with my husband where the vision was we were just going to run it and we were going to teach piano. We were going to do all of the things for until we decided not to. But there wasn't really a plan on how to scale, how to delegate. Never in a million years did I expect one day to be running the school remotely from Texas while it was already doing its thing in Florida. If you would have told me when I started my school, you'll be running your business remotely and it'll be running without you, I would have said, you're crazy. Like, that's never possible. I've never seen a musician do that. And to this day, I haven't still seen someone, to create a small business in this way in the arts and to be able to remotely manage it as a brick and mortar school remotely across the country. So it's just been such a learning experience. And I want to share with you today some strategies on how you can start developing your own systems for your businesses and to start looking at the things you do and looking at the different ways you need to approach your business development process. So, one of the things that really is important is when we are building our businesses, we tend to be the ones who do the things first. Like we were piano teachers, and then we built the music school around teaching instruments, around teaching music. We continued teaching piano while we ran the business. And what happens is when you start building a business or when you start wanting to scale your business, you need to step away from being the one who does the main activity to the one who now is the visionary, the one who can start looking at all of the different moving parts and start making decisions. So it starts with this first step is you need to start becoming the director of the movie, so to speak, and not just the actor, right? So you need to start seeing what are all the moving parts that this business needs and always remember that whatever business activity you're creating, it's not just about that activity. Like when my husband and I started our music school initially, we thought, oh, we'll teach piano. We'll be teaching piano. We'll be teaching musicians how to, perfect their music skills. But we ended up doing only 20% of that. 80% of the work was, marketing, recruiting, managing the books, managing the school, cleaning the academy, all the things, right, that we're not necessarily teaching piano. So as you start building your business, as you continue kind of exploring how to expand what you've built, you need to take a step back and look at what are the things that you are primed to do. What are your favorite parts of the business? What are the things that are in your zone of genius that you know you want to continue doing? And what are the things that you should be delegating and looking for other people to take on or creating the right systems for that to do it on its own, right? And even if you can't really envision it at the very beginning, you want to start creating your business and designing all the different moving parts with that vision of it needs to be able to be self-sustaining. So whether you're looking at the marketing aspect of the business, or whether you're looking at the financial management of the business, or whether you're looking at serving of your clients in the business, There are systems that you can put in place for absolutely all the different elements of what your businesses need. You just have to start with number one, making the decision. Decide what are the things that you want to be involved in 100%, and what are the things that you don't want to be involved in. And not because you know how to do it means you should, right? As musicians, as entrepreneurs, as creators, we're quick learners. So we can tend to want to be tempted to do a lot of the things that we shouldn't. Just because we know how to do them doesn't mean we should. So that's the first thing. Make sure you make the decision of what are the things that you are going to be doing that you know your business depends on. And a huge part of that is building your online presence, creating content, building a voice, helping people understand, what you can do, what your potential is, what your skill sets are, what your value systems are, what your beliefs are. Like no one else can really do that. However, if you think about now how to spread all of that online and make it appear everywhere and create that omnipresence that you need in order to build a strong online presence, a strong online brand, you shouldn't have to do all of that, right? And I hear a lot from people in my world, for example, that see my presence, that see my online presence, and they're like, wow, how do you do all of this? And you're like nonstop online and like doing these things. And it's not true because I have systems. I've built in ways for people and things to work around me so that I don't have to do all of this. But initially, when people come to me and they see all of this, they don't realize that it's not me doing all of the things. So it can even feel like it's too much, like it's overwhelming. Like, how do you even do all of this and still have a life? The answer is systems. So I want to encourage you, as you're looking into building your online presence, building an online business, how can you look at the key components of what it takes to build a presence, to build your business, and look at what are the things you must do and what are the things that you need to figure out someone else to do or create the right systems? For example, using scheduling tools. So you could do this from the software standpoint, from the tech standpoint. For example, looking at content creation, you can schedule things out in advance, right? Using scheduling softwares like Later, Planoly, things like that. Or you can find people who can help you offload, like a virtual assistant, etc. But if you don't have the systems to use, even if you find the right people, you're going to lack the strategy. So number one is looking at how you can save your time by what are the things that you need to do, what are the things that other people need to do, or what are the things that you can delegate from a tech standpoint with perhaps scheduling softwares, things like that. And that's very specifically related to content creation, building an online presence, which is one of the most important parts for any musician entrepreneur who wants to build an online business. You need to build an online presence. So looking at what are the things that you need to do. And then again, not getting confused with teaching. Like, let's say you're a music teacher, you want to know when are you wearing that doer hat in terms of like serving and doing the main activity, and when are you stepping out and wearing more of that managerial hat, that entrepreneur hat? When are you able to look at your business and make decisions for what it needs to happen versus be in the business? So in my case, for example, I've organized my schedule every month. I have 1 week where I step out of the normal day-to-day operations. I take a week to take a bird's eye view at all of my systems, all of the different moving parts of my business without being in the business and doing the things. So I've created that deliberately so that I have that time to think bigger, to envision what I need next, to envision what needs to change, to envision what I need, who I need to bring in, and how I need to attract that, and what are the different moving parts, right? So I encourage you to look at your schedule and look at ways to build in that empty space to be able to think bigger and to look at your business from a bigger standpoint, right? So number one is making decisions and deciding what are you going to do, what are you not going to do in the business, and how are you going to rearrange those tasks either by delegating them. Some of the things, frankly, you need to delete. Like, we spend so much time doing things that are not important in our business. So I want to encourage you to take this opportunity to take a step back and look at what should you delegate, what should you just modify altogether, and what should you delete from your life so that you can create that space to think more strategically and to see the bigger picture of what your business needs. And then after you've made that decision is a matter of looking at, okay, now what am I going to systematize? How can I use either softwares? How can I find the right person? how can I seek out that information so that I don't have to be doing all of the things on my own, right? How can I figure out what are the things that I need to do and what are the things that others need to do or that I need to implement and systematize? So giving yourself permission and knowing very consciously when you are wearing the hat of the doer, of the executor of the business, when you're doing the thing versus taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture and being the director of the movie, right? And saying, now I'm not going to be the one doing all of these things. I'm going to take a step back to analyze, see myself, see what I'm doing on a day to day basis. I love using time tracking devices to kind of keep track of what I end up spending my time on. And that helps us realize, like, you're going to see what are some of the things that you should not be doing that you are inevitably kind of like reacting, so to speak, right? I'm going to see if I have it somewhere around here, but I have actually a device. I'm not finding it right now around my desk. Maybe my kids put it. Oh, here it is. So this is something that I love to use. It's called a timular. So it literally keeps track of the different things that I do throughout the day, and I just switch it around, and it integrates with a software, and it's a pretty cool device that you could use either with the device or just with the software itself. It has a free version and a paid version. I'll put a link under here so you can refer to it. It's called Timular, and it's really convenient, and anything you can use to kind of track your day, to track how you're spending your time, and then you'll be able to see, is this something I should really be doing? And then, if not, how can I start finding either a person or a strategy to make this, off my plate, to take it off my plate? So looking for ways to decide, and then looking for things to be able to either delegate, to systematize, and to have that blank space. Find ways to create blank space in your calendar on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Because if you find yourself always doing the things, you're never going to be able to create the systems, because you're always doing. You're not looking at it strategically. You're not being able to make decisions. So those are some of the main considerations. There's, of course, so much more to talk about it. This is one of my favorite topics, but I think this is going to give you a great head start to start looking at ways to be more strategic, and to be able to protect your time, to think bigger, and to understand how to create the right systems and what you should be doing, what you should not be doing in your business. So look forward to connecting with you all. I'm going to be doing a training on Tuesday, February 22nd. I'm going to put the link under this video. We're going to walk in through the whole process of building an entire music business plan on a single sheet of paper. I'm so excited to be able to work with you. And if you want to learn more details around how to do all of this, then join me, because it's a completely free training. We're going to be talking about all the steps that you need to package your skills into an online business, and how to use your time wisely and get the results you want to reach financial and artistic prosperity. So join me on Tuesday, February 22nd, and I hope this has given you some room for thoughts, and some opportunities to reevaluate what you're doing and create better systems for yourself. Looking forward to continuing these conversations. Thanks for joining me, and let's prosper together.